Alright, hello and welcome back to the Anime Happy Hour podcast. I'm Jonathan Bell. I'm joined here today by my two co-hosts. First, we got Kirkland.
So,
and last but certainly not least, who's going to stay on the back end of the list for a little while, Jake.
Nice to be back.
Just in case it's your first time joining us, we are the Anime Happy Hour podcast, where every week we get together, we have a drink, discuss the world of anime and what's going on in it. We're also sharing our thoughts and opinions on various topics from episode to episode. Before we get started, a few disclaimers for everybody. Well, we are an anime podcast. We are also an adult podcast, so there's going to be occasional swearing. We also discuss recent events from episodes, both new and old, so here's your spoiler warning. Lastly, these are our own personal opinions. As we can tell by the comment section over the last week, I'm sure everybody has their own opinions. If you want to keep them in the comment, just keep them in the comment section. That's fine by me. We don't get too salty about it. We'll bring it up a little later. But we'd love to hear all your feedback regarding anything else we got going on from the show. So feel free to hit us up from any of our social media. Just look up the Anime Happy Hour podcast on Facebook. Just hit right in the search bar at Anime Happy Hour Pod 03. You can email us at animehappyhour951@gmail.com. You can check out all of our links at anchor.fm/happyanimehour03. To get us started this week, as we do every single week, what do we got poured up for the alcohol for the night there, Kirkland?
some good old Coors Banquet.
All right. Yeah, I'm all out of mine. I ran through those last few days already, last weekend. Jake, what do you got going?
Some Cooper's Mark apple-flavored bourbon. But 3 sips into it, I'm not thinking I'm going to continue, and I'll just drink a Coors.
Is it easy to find, generally?
I mean, it's the first time I've seen it, but I would imagine it's in most liquor
commercial.
stores.
You can find it. It's pretty bad.
I have to go make a liquor store run on this Friday anyway, so might have to see what I can pick up.
Yeah, my sister's boyfriend was telling me about some peanut butter whiskey. I'll have to get the name of it from him, but I don't remember.
It's probably Screwball.
Yeah, apparently it's great. I'll have to try that next.
Screwball's okay. If you like peanut butter, it's great.
I can't.
Who doesn't like peanut butter?
Alcohol like that. Alcohol and chocolate and peanut butter and nah. It's just like beer.
Well, you never drink alcohol straight anyways, John.
Whoa.
Not on this podcast, at least.
Well, someone's got to do the talking and the outros and everything else, you know?
And
I got to be able to read. I'm blind without drinking.
Like I said before we started, the one who talks the most should be the drunkest.
Yeah, I don't know if that's how it works, but yeah, we'll find out. I mean, there's been a few episodes that I've definitely slurred the outro. The intro,
at least
honestly.
One for sure.
And the intro. Well, I mean, I guess we'll dive right in to our weekly Q updates. What have we been watching? What do we got going on? We've been keeping up with any of the new episodes of certain shows. I know we've been watching one show. That's going to be our main topic for the week. Ancient Magus Bride. Not really ruining anything by saying it. It's going to be in the title. But other than that, what do we got going? Anything new, Kirk?
Not anything particularly new. Same shows, this season's episodes. I caught a couple episodes, like a few of my favorite episodes of Ancient Magus Bride. As we know, it was my selection of anime this week. Fruit of Evolution is getting pretty good. The Paladin one, the Faraway Paladin, that one's looking like it's going to be very good. I'm excited. I think an episode drops tomorrow. I could be wrong in saying that, but that one's
an episode dropped yesterday, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it dropped recently, so it's probably a week before.
I watched today's episode of The World's Finest Assassin, gets reincarnated in another world to slay the hero. Well, whatever.
As an aristocrat.
As an aristocrat.
Oh my god, too much. Today's episode was okay. I kind of liked it.
I was a big fan.
It was a little fast-paced for me. There was a little bit of a time skip, and they didn't really preface the time skip with anything. It's just like, bam, he wakes up and he's like 16, 17 years old, and you're just like, oh shit, when did that happen?
Well, he said they did it's not necessarily a preface, but they did say when he woke up, I just had a dream of how I met you 2 years ago.
Yes.
So everything that happened to them meeting was a dream that he was having of them meeting 2 years ago. So the time skip was like before the episode, technically. And then 3/4 of the episode's a dream.
The time skip in reality was before episodes like 1 through 3.
Well, yeah, I guess you're technically right. Yeah.
In some regards, this was the first episode.
True. I haven't watched the newest episode yet, so I've been kind of watching some other stuff.
It's pretty good. I really liked what they did with the character.
Yeah.
Which one?
Lou.
Yeah.
How they've been the past couple episodes. I'm not going to spoil anything, John, but the past couple episodes they've been like delving into him, like embracing finally, like trying to gain a human side to him and becoming a normal person. But this episode, it really showed that he still has that cold, calculating, mindset that he had in his former life, and I really like that angle.
All I'm gonna say is brainwashing success.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely tell just from, I haven't watched the newest episode, but you can definitely just tell from the last few episodes, like, it's not going to be that easy to break.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're right, though, Kirk. Faraway Paladin, I have hopes for it. It could get good.
Yeah. I mean,
the cliffhanger at the end of this last episode was pretty good. They finally...
Jake, are you caught up on Faraway Paladin? Do you care about Faraway Paladin?
I'm only halfway through the first episode, and it hasn't got me. You can say whatever you want. The first episode was rough.
We talked about that the first week. The first episode was tough to get through.
It's for sure. High hopes.
It definitely picks up from episode to episode.
Are you talking about the god that they introduced at the end of the last episode, John?
Yeah, and the reason, and all the gods that were going, like the reason that the world is the way it is, and the reason that he was brought to their chambers in the first place, and who they are as people, or
yes,
well, beings
or
at this point,
as undead.
Yeah.
No, I got you.
And then the god making his appearance.
Yeah, basically saying it's time, and we don't really know what it's time for yet, but yeah.
Yeah, they didn't disclose. You didn't really think that. It doesn't. I'm gonna say it was a cliffhanger at the end, but it was also like they threw me for a right turn because this whole show has been somewhat predictable up to this point.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that to happen. I was thinking like, I'm not gonna lie. Remember how Gus was telling him about how there's like all the gods and then there's like the upper world and the underworld gods.
Yeah,
and he was I forget the main character's name, but like I was thinking like it was gonna like the end of this episode was gonna end up like him telling Mary like, oh, I'm picking such and such god. And I was thinking it was gonna be like one of the underworld gods, and she was gonna be like, excuse me?
Yeah.
And I thought that was gonna be the cliffhanger. I didn't think an actual god was just gonna drop in and be like, yo, it's time, bitches.
Dude, the part that got me was literally right before that happens. He's literally sitting there and he's like picturing the future, and he's like, I can't wait until I grow up, I find a wife, I have kids, and I bring them back home to meet all three of them. And like this whole thing about like how he's excited for his future and like how he calls them mom and dad and the whole thing, and then next thing you know it's like bam. Sucks to suck.
Maybe it'll get dark. Maybe it'll get kind of sad. Like that'd be cool. I'm not gonna be upset with that.
Yeah, I think it needs to branch out a little bit, and I felt like, especially after the first two episodes, I was like, this is very like predictable. It's nothing I'm gonna have to think too deep on.
Because
last episode,
I've definitely seen anime that like it's fine. Oh my god, what happened? For instance, the one that we watched last week was Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. And then little sister just gets brutally murdered, and you're just like, fuck.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's. And then what else we got going? I actually watched Ranking of Kings. So I don't know if you remember when I talked about it when we did like the upcoming show list. It's definitely
I'm familiar with the show.
Weird, I guess you could say. The animation style is very like I get a lot of like old Disney / old anime movie feels to it.
Which one are we talking about?
Ranking of Kings.
So
I haven't watched it yet, but I've been meaning to. Are you talking weird as in just the animation or plot too?
Both. I mean, like the child king, like prince that it follows along, meeting this little spirit, like dark spirit type thing. He can't talk, and he can't really hear, and he just like moans words. Not even words. He just like moans sounds, and the only one who can understand him is this little like spirit thing that's just trying to take advantage of him. He's like, "Yeah, do you got money?" And he's like, "All right, you don't have money. Just give me your clothes then." And the little kid just like takes off all of his clothes and just walks around in his boxers down the city streets with like a big smile on his face and shit. And he's like, "Tomorrow you can meet me here. Just wear more expensive clothes." And he's like, "Okay." And he comes back, and the kid thinks that it's his friend and everything, and I think you can definitely tell it's gonna like bond a relationship. I mean, from what I saw, but it's definitely like very weird plot and animation, but it's kind of like nice in the same sense that it's not as like serious and dark as all the shows that we've been watching. It's a little more lighthearted. It'll be an interesting one to see like how it concludes by the time the whole show's over. But other than that, I mean, there was the episode of Boruto.
Chunin exams starting up again.
Yeah. Chunin exams.
Nobody passed the first Chunin exams, right?
Yo, you know what started?
Well, the first Chunin exams was interrupted by
Okatsuki.
Yeah, the Otsutsuki. Because that's what the first Boruto movie was, technically, was the Chunin exams.
Are supposed to be.
It was, and then they got all the way down to the tournament part in the arena, and then that's when the Otsutsuki attacked. And then, but Naruto's like, "Yeah, I want to host it again." Like,
you know what show unfortunately piqued my interest? I guess it's not really unfortunately, but it kind of. The last episode of Platinum End was actually pretty good.
I'm halfway through. I just fell asleep watching that earlier.
Wow. Way to be, John.
I mean, I like laid down on the couch and I was like, because I watched Faraway Paladin. I finished that episode, and then I got halfway through the new Platinum End episode, and I was like, I dozed off.
Yeah, the end of the episode finally, like, I was like, oh dang, I want to see the next one. I want to know what happens. It
definitely threw me for a right turn, because the end of the last episode before that, I was like, oh damn, yeah, the who you've been seeing, like the little mech dude, not mech, but like superhero dude.
Ultraman.
Yeah, he's gonna be at the school. And then when it threw you for a right turn, that like the girl that he's had a crush on the whole time is one of the candidates. It's kind of wild. But that's another show that's kind of picking up. That art show, I don't remember. I'm trying to remember the name. I'll have to bring up the episode notes from that. I don't know if you remember talking about it, like that painting show that we had talked about in the upcoming.
Oh, I do remember. I don't remember the name of it, but I do know what you're talking about.
I'm bringing up the old show notes here. Where's the list?
And you know what show kind of was really disappointing? Like, I'm kind of sad it's not better than it is Tactop Destiny. I had such high hopes for Tacked Off Destiny, and it's just absolutely disappointing me.
Yeah, I mean, I think going into it, I thought it was going to be a little bit different than it is. I'm not saying it's bad, but I thought that was going to be like top 2 or 3 at the most, right?
I thought I was going to
Going
love
into
it
the
based off the
season.
first episode, and then these last 3 episodes have just been,
Kind of a
I'm
bore.
sorry, but unentertaining. It's been like very cookie cutter. It's just cassette killing D2s, and that's all it is the last 3 episodes, and it's like cool, great, awesome, like I almost don't care. I don't know if I'll continue the series. I'll watch one more episode, and if it's the same thing again, I'm just gonna be like, all right, well, maybe I'll watch it eventually. Maybe I'll pick it back up again. But it's gotten pretty bland.
Kirk, that show is Blue Period.
Blue Period.
Is that the art one?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
I've
on
seen it.
Funimation, right?
Yeah, I believe. I mean, it's been blowing up. I've seen a lot of people talking about it. I watched the first episode. I mean, I like it. It's definitely like a more slice of lifey type show. I mean, it's not dark, not actiony, not crazy, but it's definitely like off the beaten path, which is kind of nice sometimes to relax and watch a show like that. But then if we're taking a full 180, do we know when Chainsaw Man's coming out? Did we get any more info on that?
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If I remember correctly, it was supposed to come out in October.
Yeah, that's what I was
October's
thinking.
almost
That's why I
over.
was curious. And going back to my list, I mean, I want to check out the Blade Runner on Netflix too.
Yeah,
That
don't get your
sh-
hopes up. It wasn't
that-
anything spectacular.
No.
Really?
No.
Are you a fan of like the Blade Runner movies?
Yes, very much so.
And you didn't like the anime?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Well, I'll have to give it a go.
Probably because I liked the movie so much is why I didn't like the anime. Because the anime is not. I wouldn't say it's resemblant of what I think Blade Runner is.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much into it because I'll spoil things, but yeah, just don't go into it thinking Blade Runner, Blade Runner, Blade Runner, and you might be okay.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of just something similar, have you ever seen Altered Carbon?
Yes.
Yeah.
So have you seen the anime that came out about that?
So it's on
The
my
anime
list, and
movie?
I've been meaning to watch it. And I think I watched the first episode
Of Altered Carbon?
of the anime version. Yes.
It's a movie.
Or movie. Yeah. I watched the beginning of it, something like that. I think I started it.
I think that was a really good example of how to do that right.
Yeah. It looked really good. I think I started it and then didn't finish it or something for some reason. I loved the show.
Yeah,
More
yeah,
of
it's
the
one
first.
of my favorites.
The
Shame
first
it got
season, more of
canceled.
the second, but
Yeah, 100%.
the first season was great. But
No shame to Anthony Mackie, but
yeah, it wasn't nearly as good as the first season was definitely where I was at. Other than that, we got any other shows we want to hit real quick?
Goku Tensei, still just
yeah.
generic good.
I don't know about generic, but it
No, it's
it
not
is.
very generic.
It's
It's
I
very-
like the past couple episodes. Are you guys caught up?
Yes.
no, but
Did you see last week's episode?
I saw last week's
Yes.
episode.
My favorite part of this season so far is when what's his name? What's the main character's name?
Rudius.
Rudius. When Rudius gets arrested or imprisoned by the like beast people, and they strip him naked, and he's in the wooden like cell.
Or are you
and
talking
they
about
throw
when he's just
another-
laying sideways?
Yeah, when they throw another guy in there, and he's laying there naked
What up,
sideways,
newbie?
and he's like, "Who do you think you are, newbie? I'm your senpai here," and so he calls him senpai the rest of the time. This like 35-year-old guy calling a 10-year-old senpai.
Yeah. It's
The
kind
weird
of
part for me on that is that guy had no reason to be calling him senpai. The guy is just clearly a pervert for little children, because, like, I could understand if Rudeus did some kind of magic or this or that and, like, demonstrated his power to the guy, but the guy just straight up was like, okay.
Well, you're caught up, right? I think it was a joke at first, and then once Rudeus, shit on the sword god, or the sword king, he's like, oh, okay, now you are my actual senpai.
Yeah.
That it? We got another show? I think that's all that I've seen so far.
I do want to talk about Fruit of Evolution. Kirky kind of touched on it earlier. I was looking for one of the new shows to start the other day, and Kirky's talked about it a lot, so I started Fruit of Evolution, and right now it's my favorite fall season new show.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think it's my favorite fall season right now as well.
It's just super entertaining. It's not big brain at all. It's kind of like how we talked about Tsukimichi, Moonlit Fantasy. It's almost like a parody of Isekai, but not quite. But it's literally just...
It's very generic isekai that I like.
I wouldn't even say it's generic. I think it kind of plays off the generic
does it
genre.
have a main character with a harem and the main character's overpowered, and he gets thrown into all these situations and amazes everybody with his overwhelming power?
Yeah, but his main love interest is
a gorilla,
like 600-pound gorilla that's stronger than him.
Human. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think she's stronger than him anymore. I think she was, but I don't think she is.
Well, she completed her evolution too.
No, I know, but
and she was significantly stronger than him then.
I wouldn't say significantly. She was probably stronger than him. He just didn't want to fight her. That was the thing.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know.
I mean, I'm sure we will know. The next episode we'll probably know. Because if I had to guess, the new threat, I guess I'm going to call it, in the last episode that was introduced is going to pummel Saria, and Hiragi, or Seiichi, that's his name, is going to end up saving the day by beating the big bad.
So I don't think he's going to pummel Saria, because he's already pummeled the Calamity Girl.
Yep.
And they wouldn't beat up two waifus in one fight. So I just think he's going to tell Saria to step back and protect the other girl, and then he'll take care of her.
Yeah.
Take care of the dragon. Hashtag spoiler, sorry about that.
No, way to go, Jake.
I know. Now I'm never going to watch it.
Yeah, well. That's your mistake. That's your
I haven't
loss.
watched it yet. Like I said, it's been on my queue, and I've been meaning to watch it. And every time I go on to these apps to go watch something, I come across a new show that I hadn't even seen on a list or whatever drop, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll start it. And I'll just watch the first episode of something. So I have probably a good 25 shows started right now. So
4 episodes, John. Just over an hour. Give it a watch.
Okay. I'll see what's up with it. Maybe I'll have to pick a show for this next coming week.
You already took a nap today. Give it a watch tonight before you, or while you're laying in bed trying to go to sleep.
Dude, that's the thing is, though, if I'm laying in bed...
Fina Pirate Princess yet?
I've seen the first 7 episodes.
Yeah, I've seen first half of it.
Didn't the last episode just come out?
Didn't it? Yeah, season
yeah, I'm going to catch up now.
It looked pretty wild.
I was a big fan. You got me on that, Kirky.
That one's pretty good.
I watched that just because it dropped on...
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It dropped on Adult Swim, out the rip. So that's why I had saw it. The first episode premiered. I'd just seen it come on at night in the hotel room. But I guess with that, we'll dive right into our news. It is a very slow news week. I actually kind of struggled to find some news articles. I guess we'll start off first is something we forgot to bring up last week. We had talked about it a little bit just between us. Was the death of Chris Ayers, the voice actor for Frieza from Dragon Ball Z Kai and Super.
R.I.P.
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 He's been voice acting for a long time, doing the dubs, like the voiceovers for the English versions. So, which I feel like a lot of people would know. Maybe not by name, but if you've ever watched Dragon Ball Z over the last 20 years.
I didn't know his name before now, but I definitely know his voice.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just for me saying anything. The quote I was thinking in my head just sounds racist to say, but even though he says it in the show, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, Frieza is the epitome of a racist.
Talking about monkeys.
You monkey!
Yeah, exactly. But literally, just like if I said it out loud, it's just going to sound, if it's ever cut out, it's easily going to
Yeah. No context.
Yeah, exactly. But just wanted to put that out there, say RIP. Another one that I got to say rest in peace to, a lot of deaths recently, was the manga creators, their brothers, Sanpei Shirato and Tetsuji Okamoto. They're most known for The Legend of Kamui. They both passed away from pneumonia 4 days apart from each other.
Oh, that's nutty.
Yeah.
Their poor mother.
Yeah, for real.
How old were they? Do you know?
They were young, 40s.
Oh wow.
50s
Did they
maybe?
finish Legend of Kamui?
Yeah, I think it's been done for a bit.
Okay.
The manga.
I know they're still doing
the
the
anime
is
adaptation,
still going.
but I believe the manga is completed.
Okay. It's basically that's the one about the guy that like collects all the tattoos and stuff and is trying to make a map, like a skin map of like where to find some gold, right, or something like that.
Oh no, it's different. Completely different.
What is Legend?
It's
of
the older version. Set in feudal Japan, the classic series serves up historical facts about ninjas, graphical violence, popular lone wolf.
Oh, I'm thinking of Golden Kamui.
Yes, you're thinking of Golden Kamui.
Ah, I don't know what Legend of Kamui is. So.
It's a kid who becomes a ninja to escape the oppressed peasant class and turns outlaw when he tries to leave his ninja clan. Haunted by assassins, he finds a temporary safe haven on a shipwrecked island.
Never heard of it, but two things. One, sounds real good, might have to give it a watch. And two, sounds like the origin story of the ninjas and Fina Pirate Princess.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. This is really old. The original manga, I think they did the rework. So the original series became the basis for several spin-offs and continuations, including the manga Golden Kamu. Golden, Gaiden, Golden... Yeah, so a bunch of different spin-offs. There was over the last... The original came out in 1964 and aired for 21 volumes. That ended into 71. So these guys were actually old. The pictures that were up on the website were the younger versions of them. So they had to have been pretty old when they were if the first ones came out.
So they were ready to go, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. Clearly. Still sucks, you know.
I'm terrible.
But
Yeah, 4 days apart for brothers.
yeah.
I've heard that. Yeah, that's like a thing though. Like if you have a really close connection to somebody, like if you and your best friend hang out every day, or this or that, or your husband and wife, like those types of scenarios, like that happens pretty frequently. Where like, unless you have other connections as strong as that bond, like they just go. I mean, like they lose their will to fight essentially. Like, my best friend's dead. Time for me to die.
Well, I think they both died of pneumonia, so something had to have happened where...
Well, that was like my dogs. Like, I mean, of course, I'm comparing dogs to people now, but like...
R.I.P. Yoshi.
Yeah, Yoshi and Minnie. Yeah, no, Yoshi died within like 3 months of Minnie dying.
Yeah. Well, with that, we're gonna on to number 3. Netflix adds Kuroko's Basketball and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to the next updated list coming out in November to be added. So those will be added right to Netflix, I think November 1st.
Kuroko's is still on, is already on Netflix, I'm pretty sure.
The newest season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And same with JoJo's. It's one of the newer spin-off seasons.
I think they're
or one of the
putting,
spin-off shows. They have like 5
Italian,
JoJo shows.
Italian.
No, it's
JoJo's
just the
is
next
making it.
season.
Given, I will say, like, I don't know. I hate that it's not just JoJo's season, whatever. It's like JoJo's, and then they name every season. I forget the newest season, but it's the one that has.
The one coming out is Stone Ocean, I'm pretty sure.
Giorno. I don't know. The blonde boy. The newest JoJo's, the one with the I don't know.
Yeah, there's so
Regardless,
many of
the
them at this
newest
point.
season was good. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say.
Long story short. Yeah, no, I mean, I know, like, JoJo's is one of those shows that, like, there's a cult following with. I mean, I've watched them. It's never been, like, my cup of tea, but I definitely know it's popular, so.
I like JoJo's. I just think the first 2 seasons, or first 2 stories that they tell are pretty boring.
Yeah. It's also, like, very, very, like, dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, over-exaggerated and dramatic. But, second to last one that we got on here, I had to look this up. I'd seen it a few times. Arknights. It's a phone game. It's like a turn-based phone game. Got released a few years ago. Is getting an animated TV series. And all I'm going to say is I'm not upset about it. I mean, I like looked and watched videos and checked out the game or whatever, and the art style is definitely really cool. And it would be really cool animated as a TV show. So
Yeah.
one of the big studios is picking it up too, so it should be done right. As long as they make decent fights and everything else, but the phone game itself is pretty good. So
Yeah, I've never heard of it. Have
Me
to wait
neither
for the
until
show.
I looked it up. I think I've seen it every once in a while, like I've seen it online or whatever, but
Yeah.
never really played it. But looks cool. Last but certainly not least on the list, we got Demon Slayer, the video game, got released over the last week. If you've seen any videos on it, it definitely reminds me of like the Naruto Ninja Storm games or the One Piece games, fight style wise.
Not
But-
the One Piece games.
What?
Not the One Piece games.
No, well, somewhat in the fighting. It's just like it's more open as far as the ninja goes. Like it's the circular, or even like Jump Force, the very circular arena
Yeah,
type.
it's
like,
kind of
open
like
movement.
the Naruto to Boruto game.
Yeah, all the Naruto Ninja
Shinobi
Storm games
Striker.
that came out over the last few years. It's very like it's like a circular area that you fight in, and they all have their own. It's cool because they all have their own like finishing moves and art styles, and it's definitely like a really beautiful and like well-made game.
Yeah, the animation looks great.
They did it justice with that, and it looks smooth. So
Yeah.
I mean, because I've seen it on a ton of streamers like pages on YouTube and stuff lately, so it's all over TikTok and everything. So
Yeah, I probably won't play it just because I'm not into like fighting games.
yeah, I mean,
I played.
It's cool though
Yeah.
too because it follows the whole first season as far as the story's concerned. So you can play through
Yeah.
the story like you did the first and it's the exact same as like the story throughout the first season of the anime, which is exactly what they did with Naruto Ninja Storm too, which I loved because they did it. I mean, they did it for a money grab. They just kept making more Ninja Storm games to kind of follow with it as the show progressed. But
yeah,
it's definitely fun to like play through it yourself, like personally, with like its own cutscenes and everything else. So, but I guess with that, we're gonna dive right into our main topic for the night. Just like we do every single last few weeks, and we're gonna do for upcoming weeks. We're gonna do our topic here, top tier or steer clear, where every week we bring a new show to the table. It was Kirkland's choice for this week. Typically, we're gonna choose a show that's kind of come to its own full completion. We're trying not to cover shows that are currently running or not concluded yet,
or at least not shows that won't get another season, probably.
Yeah. R.I.P. Dead Man. With one of the shows each week. What's up?
Sorry for interrupting, John. I just read earlier, Kirky, that they're putting out. They listed it as season 2, but it also said something about 3-episode OVA, like a new 3-episode OVA of Ancient Magus Bride in 2022.
So they had like a 3-episode. We're going to dive into it in a minute when I get into the synopsis and everything.
All right.
We'll cover all that. But with one show each week, we're going to be given an individual score rated between 1 and 10. And we're going to cover 3 different categories. Then we're going to average out the final score from each of us. And based on how good we think the show is as a whole. 10 being the best, quote-unquote top tier anime, that's an absolute must-watch. Or 1 being the quote-unquote steer clear. Don't waste your time. We all have our own reasons behind our ratings, so we're going to dive into them a little bit as we go along. And at the end of each episode, we're going to take the average of all 3 scores, add them together, and put them on the big scoring block to look at them next to the last 2 shows that we had and upcoming shows, cover all the previous weeks. We're going to post that right up on the Facebook every week. This week, we are covering the Ancient Magus Bride. The show originally aired in 2017, ran for a single season of 24 episodes with a short 3-episode OVA. The plot centers around Chisei Hattori, a girl who lived a life full of neglect and abuse, devoid of anything resembling love. Far from the warmth of family, she has to share her troubles. She has her own share of troubles and pitfalls. Just when hope seems lost, a fatal encounter awaits her when she meets a man with the head of a beast, wielding strange powers, obtains her through a slave auction. Chisei's life will never be the same again. The man is a quote-unquote magus, a sorcerer of great power who decides to free Chisei from her bonds of captivity. The magus then makes a bold statement that Chisei will become his apprentice and future wife. I guess we will start off with our initial thoughts on the show. Me and Kirk had seen this before, so this is the first watch for Jake.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
So I only watched the first core, which for those of you who aren't 100% on anime terminology, that's the first 12 episodes, the first release. I thought it was really good, and I was also very disappointed in it. Animation and all that, everything, it was good. There was moments that were really, really good, borderline great about the show, but at the end of the first half of the season, right, the first core, which if I had watched it when that came out, I wouldn't have continued the show. I just felt like we got nowhere. You know what I mean? Like I was talking to Kirky about this earlier, John. That the beginning and then the last few episodes with the exception of a few moments in the 12th episode. Really didn't do anything for me. They were kind of boring. The whole, sitting around with a dialogue in your head type deal.
Yeah.
And then that middle section I thought was great, where they were going out and doing the missions for the church with like the cats and the dog, the black dog, and
the neighbor one, is that part of the first 12? Where the with the flower bed and the spirit.
Oh, are you talking about the vampire or the succubus?
Yeah, the succubus.
No,
that's later on.
Later on.
But yeah, I enjoyed the show, and I can tell that the first 12 are definitely setting up for. Plus the antagonist in the first 12 episodes, I only see the antagonist once. But I read the description of the 13th episode because I'm gonna finish the show, but that's when he really starts getting to work from what the description says. So it definitely feels like the first 12 episodes were, let's introduce everything that's going to matter later. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the show, and I'm hoping that it lives up to what you've made my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
So let me put it. So I mean, yeah, definitely the first 12 is like, I feel like it's more of her realizing her, I don't want to say her place, but the story centers so much around her like being over life and like never being accepted by anybody, and like her like slowly coming to accept the fact that she was accepted into this weird like situation, but family nonetheless. And I feel like it's more of like her kind of just starting to understand everything that's going on, but also like branching out. Like you'll definitely see in the last 12 that it's more of her branching out and like discovering her own personality and own like voice, as well as her own like powers alongside Elias and everything else that's going on. But yeah, without ruining anything. But yeah, the first 12 are definitely a setup for everything.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I will say that. And
yes.
I know you're not a big, huge fan of exposition, Jake.
No, I'm not.
I guess
you're getting into the arc that's definitely not all exposition. You're getting into the arc that's a lot of there's a lot of darker themes about to occur, and it gets pretty sad, pretty happy. I mean, it's just a very beautiful and well done animated
roller coaster,
well developed. Yeah,
roller coaster of emotion.
Yes.
Yeah, the back end is definitely better. So I'm
I gotta say the most interesting character I've come across so far is Renfred.
Yeah,
is that his name?
The one-armed alchemist. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the most interesting character. We don't get to see that much of him, but in my opinion, so far, I don't think Chise is very. Yeah.
How?
I think Elias is a great character, but I'm honestly kind of bored with him so far. It's pretty much the same thing every episode.
So it's actually cool to see. I mean, that's another thing. It's like Chise and Elias are both very like, I don't want to say introverted, but they're very set in their ways as far as like Chise thinks that she's never going to be accepted, always is like the depressing girl, like just never thinks she's going to be loved properly by anybody that whole first 12 episodes, and that's just how it runs. And throughout that, you come to see her, progress as a person and a character and everything else. Definitely more so in the second half.
Dude,
like I said, she gets a voice. But in the same sense, Elias is the same way. So it gives you that his character and his reputation, I mean, because he's talked about by everybody. Everybody knows who he is, solely by him walking into the slave auction in the beginning. Like, homeboy said, screw your auction. I'm just going to walk up on the stage, offer you $5 million, and take her.
Yeah.
But his character progresses and changes. Like, his personality changes, and like he learns a lot from Chisei, just like she learns a lot from him. As far as character development goes towards the second half too. So like, yeah, I can understand where you're saying, Jake, with Elias being kind of just like a cookie cutter, like boring character to start. But like, you see him evolve as a person too.
You're both wrong.
But
Let me explain why. Hold on, Elias. He, like, from the very beginning, it's this thing with a skull for a head. Like, you don't know if he's Fey, you don't know if he's human, you don't know if he's just wearing a mask. I mean, eventually, he's not just wearing a mask, but he's like this super mysterious mage, well-known, well-regarded, well-respected. Some people like him, some people don't. You have no idea whether or not Winfred likes him. Part of the reason we like Winfred, probably. But fucking, you get these little bits and pieces and hints that he's just like, he has a strong desire to be human, and he's probably like the most human character in this, because he's like he's almost pondering what is life the whole time. Same thing with Chisei, but in a different sense, right? So I think the reason he likes Chisei so much is because they identify in each other in the sense that they don't know what they're looking for in life, and they don't know what life really is.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I don't like Elias. I mean, like, I love it, but like I said, I mean, that progresses. You can say that coming from, because you watched the whole show just like I have. And just like I could say that, like, if you're looking at the first 12 episodes or 6 episodes, and then you look at how he is by the time you hit episode 24, it's a completely different character. Because they both grow, like, exponentially as far as, like, their personality and everything goes. I mean, just like their demeanor. Because, I mean,
because you're shitting on my number one anime character ever.
This is going to be my top score, probably. I mean, dude.
Oh, it's going to be my top.
I'm not saying I don't like this. I'm not saying I
don't
like the show.
It'll be mine
I love
too.
The show. But I'm just saying,
No, I got you.
I can't come off the rip and just be like, yeah, he's like the perfect fucking character. I know.
Like, for full disclosure, I've seen an assload of anime. We all know that. Like, this ranks easily amongst my top 5 anime that I've ever seen.
Yeah, because, I mean, it has its slice of lifey aspects, but it also has the cool animated action sequences and dark areas. Like, it kind of covers all grounds for me.
Yeah. This is the anime that got me into slice of life anime. Even though it's not, well, I guess non-action based anime. It's not quite slice of life, and it's not quite not action, but it's...
I'd say a majority of it is very slice of life, from what I've seen.
You're not entirely wrong, I guess.
Yeah, and like you said, the back end is a little bit more dark and deeper. Yeah. It's not like a sit-at-home type. It's not like the first 12. So I'm going to put it this way. Jake, we're going to get your front half score, and then we'll get your back end score. How do you feel at next week? We'll check back in. And
I've got a pretty high score for this week. I'm telling you everything I think that is wrong with it, in my opinion, just from the first 12, knowing that it's going to get better.
Yeah.
I still rank it very highly. I'm just, I have a few problems with it.
So let me put it this way. If you want to make a correction to your plot score come next week, we'll talk about it then.
All right.
See if we have a revision for your plot score. But
also, Kirky, you're a little butthurt about one of your favorite animes getting quote-unquote shit on.
When you come out here shitting on Jake's every week.
What was it yesterday when we were playing Call of Duty? Was that 2 times in a row One Piece sucks?
Yeah.
And don't think I didn't notice on the Facebook post, One Piece, parentheses, garbage.
Yeah, John, why'd you type that in there?
Yeah. I mean, I forgot to edit it out and put it that way. Because we all know who put it in there.
The most interesting thing that Elias has done in the first 12 episodes. Most interesting thing, because he is boring. And I say that with love, Kirkledinger.
Go fuck yourself.
The most interesting thing he did was not turn into a monster. I thought that was a little over the top. And I think a little bit too soon for it, but was when... Is it Winfred with a W?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I watched it in dub, and it was hard to tell if it was a W or an R.
I think he has a very German name. I think it's spelled Wrein. Like, I think it's either Winfred or Rinfred. I can't. I'm Slistesic.
Yeah. Anyways, excuse me. I think the most interesting thing he did was the first time we met Rinfred and his apprentice, when they when she had the knife to Chisei's throat, and they were telling him that Elias was lying, telling her that Elias was lying, and that she was gonna die and stuff. And the second she pushes them off, he appears behind her and is like, "You don't know, have you forgotten who I am?" And the shadows come out and the thorns come out, and he's like, "I am darkness, blah, blah, blah." That was the most interesting moment, and it lasted 2 seconds, and we don't see that side of him again. That's what I want to see more of.
Yeah.
You do get that in the back end. Put it that way.
Renfred and Alice. Alice is the name of the blonde-haired girl that's with Renfred. I mean, they're an interesting pair, but yeah. I mean, you kind of get that side of him when he turns into the big monster thing.
Renfred.
Yeah, but he lost control there. I thought it was dope how
he is
in that moment he was in control of himself, and you kind of get because up until then and for the rest of the 12 episodes after that, he's just this kind of boring guy who thinks in his head a lot about what it means to be human and is trying to understand Chisei, right? But he's got this reputation that you keep hearing about, and you're like, he's kind of lame. And then for that moment, you see, like he said, "Have you forgotten who I am?" You see who he is. I thought that was cool.
Just clarification, it is Renfred, Renfred.
Gotcha.
All right.
I had to look that up real quick. So, I mean, I guess with that, Jake, what do we got for your score for the plot?
For the plot, 6.5.
6.5? All right, that's a little higher than I expected.
Yeah. With all the shitting I just did on the show, it is a very intriguing plot. Not much happens in the first 12 episodes, which I'm expecting it to pick up in the next 12. A lot of that score comes from the episodes where they were doing the missions for the church. I thought that 4.5 episode span was great, and I was hooked the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm interested in the story. I like the story. It just hasn't done anything for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you think about Ruth? Oh, you don't. You haven't seen enough of Ruth. Never mind. We won't.
Which one is Ruth?
The dog.
Ruth's the black dog.
I think
She
he's
has
dope.
familiar.
He has shining moments in the second half.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough, but I like his character, and I like when she does the whole saving him from the alchemist. I can't. What's his name? It's super complicated.
Joseph. You're talking about Cardophilius, right?
Yeah.
All right. So he's Joseph.
Okay. So I like when she won't let Joseph take Ruth, and then he's basically I want you to be my master now, and he becomes her familiar. I like that whole scenario, that scene that happened. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, he definitely the whole second season, he is always with her. Not second season, second half, I should say. Always with her.
Yeah.
I mean, because he is familiar. So, they have that bond. And he has his shining moments. And I don't want to ruin anything because Kirk knows exactly what I'm talking about. But when it comes to Ruth, it's definitely, he's a good character to build on too. I mean, I don't think there's too many new. Let me do this then first. Kirk, what do you got for your score?
For plot?
Yeah.
I got a whopping 7.6.
And I was right around there with you with a 7.5. Because I mean, it was.
I'm gonna let you know right now. Plot's the lowest score I have for this.
Me too.
Because
Yeah, me
I
as
will
well.
say, like the first half isn't great in terms of plot. Like the plot is essentially just you have Chisei, she's attained.
It's
by
a lot of character introductions.
Your antagonist doesn't come in until the last 2 episodes, and even in the last 2 episodes, it's kind of vague as to what the antagonist is really doing. So, but at the same time, like, I still rate it very highly with a 7.6 because it's still very interesting. Oh, this dude just comes up out of nowhere, borderline Stockholm syndromes a girl into loving him just by saying, "Oh, we're family," and she's like, "Ah, we're family." And
Brainwashing complete.
Yes, exactly. And like, so I just find that aspect very interesting because I think it's a little less Stockholm syndrome. Like, it starts off right off the bat like very brainwashed, like Stockholm syndrome, whatever you want to call it, and then eventually it turns into more of a genuine respect and admiration. And you can see that. Jake, have you seen the parts where Chisei actually starts feeling like anger and she's upset with Elias?
About what?
Like, you know how like he's keeping things from her and she's upset about that? It's like almost
No.
normal. Oh.
No, so that's
all
one
the-
of the
that's all the
problems I
second
have. Yeah, that's one of the problems I have is
'Cause that's what she
everything he
runs
does
away.
is...
All right, so you need to get there because like it gets so I'm basing it overall on the anime, whereas you have yet to see the whole anime. It gets very good.
Yeah, you can base it on the whole anime. That's fine.
I am.
Where I'm at in their character arcs is Chisei just had an epiphany that she's being selfish by wanting to stay with him forever. And I'm going to be honest, I thought that was kind of lame. I do like where Elias is at. He just got he just met with that bird from the college or whatever, who basically is like, you're holding her back by keeping her trapped here.
Yeah. And I mean, they dive into her like powers a little bit more in the second half, and the price she pays for her powers, and the whole in-depth breakdown on what a slave beggy really is.
Yeah.
Not just kind of what was told in the beginning, because there's a lot more to what she really is as a person.
Yeah.
And it does, like, it's cool because I can't remember. Did they do this flashback to like her mom and dad?
Yes. I don't
Not
know
yet.
if we have yet. Okay, never mind.
No, we got Elias's flashback.
Okay, so the same with the dragon. Did they go into the dragon's keep, or is that the second one? Second half?
No, they've gone in there at least once. Have you seen her get her wand yet, Jake? You've seen her get
That's
her
the
wand.
last episode, yeah.
That's the last episode?
Okay. Yeah.
That's episode 12, I should
Yeah.
say.
Okay. So, I mean, they do a flashback
Episode
with like, her parents.
The
and
last
everything.
thing I saw was when she turned into the Phoenix and flew from Iceland back to London and like landed in his arms and they were hugging. That's the end of the 12th
Which is
episode.
baller. That ain't a love
was such
story.
a great scene. I mean, just like from the soundtrack in the animation.
That whole
in
12th
that
episode is very well
Oh,
done.
it's great. Yeah.
Like them being in the
Echo-
sky, like the sky and the water and everything. Oh. All right. Well, we'll get to the animation part in a bit. But last thing to put in there is the plot area is the fact that Kirk, I don't know if you can clarify this, but I don't think there's any new characters or people added in the second half.
Yes, there is, but they're only supporting characters. There's no new
Not really,
main
yeah.
characters.
There's like the whole first front half.
So you're gonna get characters that are going to become main characters, but they for what we have in the anime so far, they only play supporting roles.
Yes, but all the characters themselves have been introduced and set up, and I feel like that's what they use the front half for, is to kind of set up every character you're going to see and set up like an idea of what's going on.
Characters similar to like Winfred and Alice and like the cats, like they introduce a lot of characters like that.
But they dive into them a lot deeper in the second half.
The main
give them a little more depth.
Get a lot more depth, and Jake, if you like,
even the
Renfred
side characters get depth.
Jake, you're gonna love Renfred.
I mean, like with the fairies, like the whole fairy kingdom and everything.
I just think Renfred's type of character, from what I've seen so far, is just the type of character I like.
Yeah, I know his character design reminds me of a lot is like a Full Metal.
Yeah, definitely.
Type character.
Shocker.
Yeah.
I
guess with that, we'll dive right into the second one. Average score for our plot was 7.2. With characters, what do we got, Jake? How do you feel about character design, character feeling? How do we like the characters?
I got an 8.
8? Oh, okay. Man, that's up there.
I think so far, at least from what I've seen, the main point has been the characters. There's a lot of problems I have with the characters so far, don't get me wrong, but they're at the very least interesting, and I'm interested to see where they're going to go forward. The backstory on Elias was awesome. I don't remember the dragon mage's name.
Echo or Lyndon?
Yeah, Lyndon. When him finding and raising Elias, I thought that was a really cool backstory.
I mean, it was a combination of Lyndon and I'm sorry, not Lyndon, Lindell. Lindell and Rahab.
His master.
Rahab. I forget her name. Yes.
Yeah, I just think the characters are very interesting. I like the side characters a lot. Chise, I don't like that much. Just because she hasn't really gone anywhere in her arc. She's progressed a little bit, and it's gone really in depth on that progression. But from what you're saying, by the end, she'll have progressed a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Episode 12 is, you really get a lot of her. Episode 12 is kind of the catalyst. You see her kind of click, right? Remember how, she gets her staff from Lindell, and she's like, I have to go. And he's just like, oh? And then remember how, he says as she's flying away, he's like, what do you say? It's like something
it's
like,
I'm raising...
No, he was like, I thought that girl was just submissive and kind of just sat there and listened and was quiet, but I guess she's more willful and rebellious than I really thought. And that's kind of the kickoff, that scene with Nevin where she's talking in the clouds and stuff. That's the catalyst to her kind of essentially becoming her own human. Her character develops a lot in the next half, and that's because her conversation with Nevin made her realize, oh, there's a lot more to my life than just what I'm doing. I'm not doing this for Elias. I'm not doing this for whomever. I need to be more, like Nevin said, she needs to have more pride in herself.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming the more I watch, the more I'll experience her with that mindset.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
but as of now, she's not that interesting.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably the least interesting in the show as of where I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm.
She gets to her rebellion teen phase. You know.
Yeah. How old is she? Because they were talking about how she should be in school, and I'm thinking to myself, if she's a teenager who should be in high school, and he's hundreds of years old,
They're all
that's a little
mages.
iffy.
It's Japan. Who cares?
16.
Yeah, I thought she was like 16, 17.
They're adults at what, 14?
13.
Who knows?
13?
I guess
Yeah.
regardless, I think now, but at this point in the manga, I think she's 18. But don't quote me on that.
Does the manga go much further than the show?
A little bit, yeah.
Anyways,
yeah.
there's the side characters are very interesting in my opinion. And I do like some of the about half the time I like Elias's character a lot when it's portrayed very well some of the times of him kind of emulating, not being a human, but emulating humans. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because he's
Like
never
he
had
can
any
only
like, real.
he can
like,
only do what he's seen.
Yes. That's yeah. It's like let me put it. It's like a child, like a newborn.
Yeah.
I mean, because they grow to their personality is grown in the situation and the surrounding that they've been in, and he's only been around certain. I mean, he's always been around fey creatures. He's always been around other mages. So and I mean, on a day to day, he just bases his life off of what he's seen and experienced, and until he's met, Chisei, he's never really had that experience like on a day to day to grow.
Yeah.
In a human way. Also, just clarification: the manga is still going. Volume 17 is in March, and then 18 is in September of next year.
All right.
So,
Those
are
I'll
still
tell you
running.
the two characters I'm most interested in seeing more from, besides Renfred. Don't remember their names either, but the Queen of the Fae and her husband.
Yeah. Her husband's funny.
Their dichotomy is hilarious in my
Oberon
opinion.
and Titania?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them. They're fun. Wait till you see them again. When you see them again, it's a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
almost like Oberon's like a comedy relief character essentially.
But yeah,
Yeah,
they gave him
which
such a
I love.
serious like intro.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
A bat
Well,
like trying to be like
serious parts because remember when he gets up in Elias's ear and he's like, "You really think that this is gonna work out? Just wait until
Yeah.
she dies." And Titania just rips him back like, "Hey, asshole, shut the fuck up."
Shut the fuck. Yeah, exactly, and especially with the second half, with everything that goes on in the second half. All I'm going to say is they have to rely on them a lot in the second half. Jake. So you're going to see a little bit more of those two in the whole. Like it brings you into the kingdom and like.
Shut the fuck up, John.
No, I'm just going to say it brings you into the kingdom, so you get to see that area, like that whole like race of.
But they're not allowed to leave, John.
What?
They're not allowed to leave the Fae Kingdom if they go into it.
I'm just going to stop talking.
Yeah, you should.
There you go.
Next time you see him, give him a punch in the face. Why don't you, Kirky?
Yeah, sure thing. I'll do that for you, Jake.
I mean.
Anyways, no, I'm excited to see more of those characters. So I give characters an 8. I thought it was good. Wasn't anything higher than an 8, but definitely deserved an 8. So far.
Well, I mean, Kirk, I'm looking at your scores for the next one, and I just started dying. But what do you got for characters there, Kirk? And we're right around the same. So
Yeah. So for characters, Google, please. I have.
you got an
an
8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an 8.5 for characters. It's got some of the best characters in anime. The evolution of the characters from beginning to end is just phenomenal. It's very gradual, very well done. They don't make it obvious from episode to episode. Like they'll play off of certain tropes, but if something comes up, and they'll get back to it eventually. But sometimes it's not like it's gonna be the same in every episode, which I love. I think they did a really good job of not making a big deal out of a straightforward linear progression. Like, they kind of, things branch off and shit happens. Like, and I think they did a good job of that. And then I think that just from beginning to end, especially with Chisei and Elias, just kind of making people realize, like, how their journey to becoming human. Chisei, the one that actually is human, and Elias, who we still don't know what the fuck he is.
Yeah. They keep calling him a half-breed. Is he half human, half fae or monster or something?
I don't want to ruin anything.
Well, no, it doesn't really ruin anything because we don't even know yet. Nobody really knows yet. He is a mix of fae and human to some regard, but we don't know how. He doesn't know how he is created. We don't know how he is created. He just exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was right along there with you. I had an 8-2. But, which averages all of our scores out to an 8-2, actually. But, I mean, I guess let's dive right into the last one here. We got into animation. Jake, you want to start us off?
8.5.
8.5. Okay. With the dramatic.
Yeah, the animation was great. There's nothing in this world I could say negative about the animation. It's phenomenal.
Good to hear. I mean, at the very least, that's kind of one of our big selling points when we were first given that to you.
Yeah, I think
I'm right along there with you. I mean, I'm an 8-9. Kirk's just a little dramatic, honestly.
Hey, now. All right, so...
Did you give it a 10?
No, I gave mine a 9.9.
Jesus Christ.
All right, here's my reason for 9.9, right? The animation style I already love, and 2, the attention to detail and stuff is over the top for a continued series, especially with 24 episodes. The amount of artwork and effort that went into all 24 episodes is phenomenal. And I guess... I feel like we should change the animation category, honestly, to just art, because the soundtracks and stuff included in the Ancient Magus Bride were also phenomenal. They actually used some pretty well-known people for a lot of their songwriting and for a lot of their orchestral stuff. And that's why I rate it so highly, is that it's so consistently well done. And then you have like these, like, it's already good to begin with episode to episode, and then you have like these drop dead amazing episodes, like episode 12 where she turns into the Phoenix and stuff. It's just remarkably well done and beautiful. Or like the scene where Elias is like, I'm darker than dark, blacker than black, like that scene where he launches the thorns and there's all, or the Will-o'-the-Wisp. I don't know, I think it's very well and beautifully done. The reason I give it a 9.9 is that it's not on the level of like Studio Ghibli, where everything's hand-drawn and every little detail matters like remarkably.
Yeah, I mean, you still have your background details, I mean, that are kind of like blurred. I don't want to say blurred out, but like aren't as in-depth.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you get with a lot of newer shows. But it's still, like, as far as, like, the episode to episode and, like, the general basis goes, it's, like, one of my favorite art styles.
The world is beautiful, yeah.
Very well built. And, like, the parts that they do get, like, that they do make dramatic and, like, really want to be, like, focused on that scene, they do, like, hit it out of the park when it comes to the art. I mean, like, the Phoenix scene, or
flying over
when
the water, you see the reflection and the ripples in the water, like, yeah.
Or even, like, her, like, just being in there talking to, like, the dragon that's, like, when she was first getting her wand and, like, kind of, like, going for her own realizations, up in the sky and everything.
The scene where they introduce Titania, where Titania's coming in and there's, like, the Spriggan, her little attendant, the little stone-headed fae, and he's, like, singing his song. And, like, all the fae and all the magic and stuff is just swirling around her. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, the music is great, too.
I will say, I wasn't going to mention this, but now that you bring it up, as far as the animation on the scene where Titania is introduced,
The boobs. Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't much fan service, but
That
is the most eloquently animated
Yeah.
jiggleness of boobs I've ever seen. It was like waves. I was wondering. I was like, was that necessary?
I don't think it was.
They put so much time into that. I guarantee it.
Definitely did.
Whoever drew that got a raise.
Like, if you have like a cup of water and you just kind of like slosh it back and forth.
Exactly.
Just. Yeah.
Like they didn't even like. It's not even like they did like a zoomed in shot like they do in some anime. Like it almost wasn't even intentionally perverted. It's just how it was, and it's like, wow, that was.
I don't
And
think
that's
it
like
was
the only-
perverted at all. It
And that
was
was-
just
Yeah.
No, it was
There.
art. Did it. Yep.
It was art.
It was tactfully done. Which kudos.
Because
to
it's not there's nothing even like somewhat portraying that type of like thought throughout the whole show. Like there's like no
Yeah.
fan service
Well-
throughout the whole show.
Oberon talks of he does. Yeah, I guess you're kind of right in a way. I mean, Oberon starts poking fun at Elias. Remember, he's like, "Hey, have you and Chase
You mean,
done it yet? I
isn't
wonder
it
what the kids-"
Albion?
Like, Oberon?
Albion?
I thought it was Oberon, but are you looking at it right now? Is that?
No, I'm not. Oberon's from Game of Thrones.
Now you got me curious. Not it's wonderful.
Pretty sure. I know he was
Oberon,
named after what the.
Oberon. Oberon.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I thought it was Oberon.
I'll have to start watching the sub for these
Jake, I'd like
things.
to let you know I've seen this anime about 6 times now.
I know, dude, but I'm just talking. I'm watching the dub, and the whole time I'm thinking with a bunch of these names, it would be really nice to be able to read it because I can't really tell how it's spelled.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I hear you.
I still throw on subtitles even in the dubbed.
Yeah.
But like Oberon pokes fun at Elias, like, "Hey, did you guys do it yet? Are you gonna have kids? I wonder what a human Fey child would look like. What's this gonna be?" And-
Well, yeah, no. So I mean, yeah, I mean they talk about it every once in a while, but like as far as fan service goes, though, it's definitely not like.
This is very low on the fan service totem pole.
Yes.
Like in terms of fan service, this anime probably gets like a solid 1.
But that scene can get us up to a 7 alone.
Oh. Yep.
No, that scene's a 10 out of 10, dude.
Very well done. Well, I mean that gives us averaged us out to a 9-1 out of all of us there.
On the whole show?
No.
No, for animation. If we're talking the whole show, 8-2. Which I mean, we're breaking into the 8s here. I don't think we broke out of the 6s for the last 2, so it's definitely a big jump.
I mean, essentially, we're just calling this a very good anime.
Yes, this is closer to the top tier. It's definitely on your must-watch list.
I would say I know it's going to be really good for the second half of the anime. I can already tell that just by, first of all, your opinions on it, and I respect your opinions on multiple anime, so I know, but just on what I've seen so far and what I feel is coming, I know it's the rest of the anime is going to probably bump my plot score. I don't think the animation or characters will bump.
Yeah.
But as far as the first 12 episodes are concerned, I would consider it remarkably okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And I think, yeah. I mean, I feel that because the first time I watched it, it took me a few tries to try to get through it. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But once I like sat down and grinded the whole thing, like front to back, I could like openly say that I was very pleased with my experience. Because once you see the second half, you appreciate the first half.
Yeah. I was just very turned off, I would say. I don't know. It's not necessarily pacing-wise, because it does have to do with the plot. But it starts off slow, and I was fine with that. Because, you got to introduce things. Then it picks up for the missions from the church. But then after the missions are done, it drops back down. Yeah. And that kind of lost me on that drop.
Yeah,
and then not right at episode 12, it started to pick up again.
Pick back up again, yeah. I mean, I'd like to see. I'm not going to hold my breath for like another full season. I know we're getting the OVAs.
Maybe if they do well, they'll
Since-
put out a second season.
Since the beginning of COVID, I believe like 2019, 2020, the manga's been on hiatus. The manga, I don't know how many issues or volumes it's up to. I think it's up
15.
to, like,
16 is coming out in March of 2022, and 17 is coming out in September of 2022.
Okay, yep. So it's not coming out remarkably fast or anything.
So, I mean, maybe once they eventually finish the...
I don't know necessarily how many chapters are in each volume, but I know for a fact the manga's way ahead, not way ahead of, but it's ahead of.
It's way ahead.
Enough for a season.
Well, because there's two other spin-off shows based on it.
Is there?
Yeah. Jack
Like
Flash.
spin-offs?
Yeah. Jack Flash and the Fairy Case Files, which I don't know what the basis
Are they worth
is
watching?
around. It's not a show, it's the manga spin-off.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't know. I mean, just from looking at it, I think it's based off of like a few people from the Fairy Kingdom.
Yeah, it's by Kori Yamazaki too.
Which is still going on, but
Kori Yamazaki does both art and story, which I like a lot too. I don't know how common that is amongst manga artists, whether or not
Pretty common.
is it? Yeah.
I mean, Oda does art and story. I know the Naruto guy did art and story.
I just know like American comic books and a lot of like children's books. It's usually separate authors and artists.
No, I'm pretty sure it's completely different. At least from the manga writing manga that I've read. They do both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there's a second one that came out, another manga that came out called Wizard's Blue, which is another one.
See if you can find the title of the OVA. That might give you a hint what it's about. They had the title on it, and it also said season 2. So I don't know if there is going to be a season 2 and the OVA.
So the OVA that's on
2.
there right now, that's a prequel, is
this isn't a prequel.
No. But there's an OVA that's a prequel that's categorized under season 2. So they're probably going to add it to the other 3-episode OVA that was on there before. Because it was like when she was a kid, she found a library. Yeah. She found a library that, like, when she was wandering around, she got lost because she could see all these fae beings and, like, you know, like somewhat of her backstory is where like she could see all these like crazy fae beings. So she found this library that was a guy who could not leave the library, but she like met this guy in the library and she like hung out in the library all the time. And this whole thing. But there's a 3-episode OVA that is categorized under season 2 on Crunchyroll. So I think they'll probably add another 3-episode one to the season 2, maybe a post or maybe a teaser for a new season or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't write down the title. I should have, but the title of the new OVA like section coming out was like the Thorn Prince and the something about Elias and Chise.
Mm-hmm.
So, just a quick. So the first spinoff was Wizard's Blue. Follows a young orphan who wants to become an artist and comes along to Giselle, who's a mage, who is as powerful as Thorn, Elias. And she sees Ao's potential and takes him as her groom. So it's like a flip-flop, I guess you could say. It's a little boy and a fae halfling mage woman who takes the boy as the groom.
I will say that doesn't sound nearly as interesting as the current story.
Yeah. This came out in September 2019. New chapter is supposed to come out in April of 2022. And then the Jack Flash one,
Is there a character named Jack Flash?
Fairy-born Jack Flash and her human-born brother, Larry, run a detective agency in New York City specializing in crimes committed in the hazy boundary between human and fairy realms. They never expected to receive a letter from an ancient Magus Bride of the old world. But Echoes, Caretakers, and Dragon has a task for them. All new Ancient Magus Bride spin-off series. That one sounds somewhat
good.
interesting,
Yeah.
actually. I wouldn't mind seeing that animated. That'd be kind of cool. But that one's still running, too. That one's got 4 volumes and a 5th on the way in April. So, I mean, there's potential for future Ancient Magus Bride stuff. But
You want to cut out another section for next week, right before we do our main topic, and just hear my thoughts on the second half of the show?
we can do that. Or we can tag that right into the back end of, like, or even the front end of, like, what we've been watching or whatever.
All right.
Yeah, we'll fit it in there somewhere. But I guess with that, we're going to dive right into our main topic. Or not main topic, our second to main topic, our draft. So after last week, we did post it on Facebook. We got a lot of people liking and
Disliking.
a lot of people in our disliking, and wow, a lot of people in our comment section, I guess you could say.
They're shit posting us.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure they're either bots or 70-year-old men with too much time on their hands.
Or a combination of both. But with that, I mean, we had like 50 people like it who just hit the like button without using the emoji. So, but with that, it did go me, then Kirk, then Jake for this week as far as a tier list on who won. So,
I'm disappointed.
yeah, well, you already heard from Dan. As long as it you got a character in there that he knows the show, and he only knows 2 shows, so he's gonna get you
Dan, though?
Naruto and sort of Dragon Ball Z, sort of.
He's heard all these names when I lived with him. I guarantee I've said all of them.
Yeah, but I'm sure Naruto is probably the only one he's like maybe seen something of because all of his favorite sports players happen to watch Naruto.
Yeah.
But with that, I think
You know what a lot of sports players watch?
Attack on
One
Titan.
Piece.
Yeah. Attack on Titan.
I know Cassius Marsh plays Magic the Gathering.
But so with
You
that,
don't even play Magic the Gathering, Kirky.
not anymore.
No, I play Flesh and
You've
Blood.
moved on.
I play Flesh and Blood.
That's in your past now.
I'm just gonna selflessly plug Flesh and Blood, the card game, in here because it's better than Magic the Gathering.
Oh, speaking of, listen to Stray Kids. K-pop plug.
I should just get a liquor sponsor at this point.
Yeah.
John,
You guys can plug whatever you want, but I might as well just get a liquor sponsor at this point.
John, you don't need a liquor sponsor. You need a mixer sponsor.
I needed it. I need an
Pussy.
AA sponsor. Well, with that, we're going to dive right into this week's draft. Each week, we're going to pick a new topic, draft different teams for. We're going to pick our teams based on our own opinions. So we go back and forth choosing. At the end of each episode, we're going to post up the teams on social media accounts for everybody to vote on with the corresponding emoji. Or maybe just, we'll work on that. See if we can get people to actually hit the right emojis this time. This week's teams.
But we are very thankful for the 50-odd likes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very.
yeah.
Even the shit posters. I mean, shitty publicity is still publicity.
comments.
You're
are
adding to
comments.
our algorithm.
Yeah, it puts us in the algorithm. This week's teams, we're going to kind of follow with a Halloween theme because we got Halloween coming up this weekend. And we're going to do our top monsters in anime. So we're keeping it kind of vague with this one. We were kind of on the fence on how we wanted to play it. But any monster can be picked from any show. However, once the person has picked said monster, it can no longer be chosen by either of the other two people. So when we say monster, what we would consider monstrous beings, or what would be considered a monster in our eyes, or in like the viewer's eyes, like, or somebody in the anime would be considered another person a monster, whatever.
And we're also talking about individual monsters or groups of monsters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Generalizations of monsters.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm gonna. Who do I want to put last on this list?
Oh wait, I thought it was my week to pick who goes when.
No, it's
Well,
whoever
no,
wins.
whoever wins.
Oh, it's whoever wins. John gets to go. Okay.
I think I'm gonna. I don't know what would screw Jake more. We'll
Wow, just trying to screw Jake.
put him
Kirky
at number
hasn't
one.
been screwed once.
We'll put him at number one.
Put me at number one?
We'll put you at number one. Because
All right.
Give
I
him
mean,
first pick.
because you know, you got.
Sorry, Kirkledinger. And John.
So where am
There's
I
a
going,
hand.
John?
Where do you want to go, Kirkland?
I'll let you pick.
I'll take last.
Okay.
I'm alright
Fuck me in
taking
the middle.
last.
Yeah, just fuck me in the middle. That's fine.
Finally, you got the worst spot. Yeah, you.
Just because I feel like these are going to be very.
Don't have any misconceptions. The second place is the worst spot.
Yes. I mean, I feel like our lists are going to be a little mixed at this point. So, I mean, I'm not too worried about people choosing other people's.
Well, you shouldn't have put me first, because the only one that I worry that you guys are going to take, I'm going to take first.
I mean, that's fine.
Go for it.
You do you. What do you... I mean, might as well start her off. What do we got for number one from you, Jake?
I kind of want to hear Kirky beg me not to take this character.
I don't even think it's this. My number one has already been solid, set in stone, and you guys don't even know who it is, so it's fine.
As the number one pick in our 2021 Monster Draft,
Titans.
I will take Rimuru from the time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Alright, that's interesting.
You could have begged me.
Yeah, I guess. I could have begged you. Am I up? Oh, I'm up.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even have him on the list.
I guess
so
he's
not
technically...
too-
I mean, he is
Yeah.
the leader of the Kingdom of Monsters.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. My
I guess
first
you
pick, Shenron.
Okay.
From
That's a good
Dragon
one.
Ball Z. Big old
That's a
dragon
good-
boy.
I didn't even have him on my list either, so it's a good one to pick. Where do I want to go with this?
Double pick for Johnny.
So, I know a few that you're not going to pick, so I'm going to save those for last. I think let's start it out with. So do I gotta pick? Do I gotta pick an individual tailed beast, or can it be or does it have to be an individual?
Go with an individual, because I have an individual tailed beast that I want.
I also have an individual.
All right, so I'll do Kurama, Ninetales.
Okay.
Started it. Kurama. Oh, that's the wrong place to put that. I'm struggling. And then number two. See another. This is getting interesting. I'm gonna take the Titans from Attack on Titan. Jake, it's your pick.
No, it's Kirky's.
No, Kirky.
It's
Oh,
a
Kirk's
snake
first.
draft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get one
Yeah.
more.
I was reading it in the way that I had it listed on our draft thing, so I wasn't even.
No, you're good.
Let's go back.
My number two is we're gonna go with Terraformers.
Oh, come on! I had that on my
cockroaches.
list. I didn't think you would have taken it.
The ugly cockroach things from when they go to the
Damn.
other planet, and they're stronger than everybody and kill everybody. Yeah,
That was a wild show.
it's so gory and it's so like it's definitely a horror anime. I think it's a horror anime. Maybe not.
Yeah. Honestly, I had that on my list, and I didn't think you were going to take it, so I kind of set back on that one. But I planned for this. Jake, you're up.
Alucard from Helsing.
All right, I had that on my list too.
If we're doing monsters, I can't not add a vampire. It's just who I am. It's in my blood. Huh.
Okay. All right. Kirk.
Hold on. Don't get ahead of yourself there, buddy boy.
Jake gets 2. I know. I'm reading it like backwards. I really got to switch where they are as far as.
Really off your game today, guy.
Well, you guys convinced me to just start pounding hard liquor and be that person. So.
I don't think that you guys have them on your list, but I'm going to choose them right now anyways. Just because I want to talk about the choice, because I doubt you thought about this. From the esteemed Dragon Ball Z, Cell.
All right, so I saw him come up, and I thought about putting him, but all right.
Jake's definitely picking a lot of people.
That Kirk or that.
That's what I'm saying. When I made the list, that's what I thought this was, and I have on my backups a bunch of like groups.
He's basically thinking who Dan would notice more.
No, I'm not thinking about that. I'm just thinking about if there's monsters, who is my favorite who is the monster I would pick out of them?
Yeah.
My next one is going to be Neighbors from Brain Anime, please.
Yeah, why am I drawing a blank now, too? I know exactly what you're talking about. World Trigger.
Yes, World Trigger, thank you. Oh my gosh. I drew a hard blank there. Neighbors as a group, specifically like the weird rabbit-looking things.
Yeah. I get 2, right?
Yes, you do.
Let's go with Parasites. Friend Parasite.
Migi.
Well,
I mean, you could just take Migi from Parasite. He's a monster.
yeah, I kind of just like did a generalization because a lot of them weren't like characterized, other than a few, other than Miggy, and there's a few that were characterized, but like the general basis of them, they
They're all
were.
just parasites.
Yeah, so I kind of did the whole thing as a whole, but I mean, I can put Miggy. And then my second pick is probably going to be let's go with the Vasto Lorde from Bleach.
That's when Ichigo goes nuts, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's just like the level that Ichigo reaches there.
Yeah,
There's
it's the
other
highest
Vasto
level.
Lordes and
Yeah.
in
It's the highest
Hueco
level.
Mundo.
In Hueco Mundo. And so with that, we're back up to Kirk.
No, it goes back to Jake, right?
No, it's you.
Oh, it bounced.
No,
Are
yeah,
you guys not paying attention?
You're mid. You're middle. You're middle. We're literally looking at. We're just yeah. I really gotta just flop these 'cause- and do it in the order that I plan on.
Do I get?
Well, you're not
two
going to
or-
win next week, so.
I get one.
You get
right?
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get one. Then I get 2, then you get your last one.
Okay. I am going to take. Well, yeah, I'm going to take my boy Elias Ainsworth from Ancient Magus Bride, because
All right.
I didn't know you would pick Elias.
shocker, right?
Yeah. Who's
Thorn
gonna really
Mage.
do?
All right,
Oh,
well,
okay. All right. You're just gonna hop right in there for me, Kirk.
Yeah, no problem. I got you.
now I've got a shitload of options
Yeah, me too.
and
now I
some
don't know who
decisions
choose.
to make. You're done, aren't you?
No, I got one more.
You've picked your 5.
No, I got one more.
Do you?
Yeah. So does Kirk.
Jake goes first. John.
You're
went
first.
last.
So this
You
is
get
my
two.
5 right here.
Yeah, you get 2, and then we get 1 each. Pay attention, Jake.
I will hop through this webcam and bitch slap the shit out of you, guy.
Which one?
Got to get your internet to work first.
The smaller one.
Yeah, you get 2, Jake.
See if you get a revive later. Or I might just by itself.
I think I'm gonna get sick. I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
Alright, I'll just go with my original first string since you guys didn't pick any of them. I'm gonna go with Father from Full Metal.
All right.
Who? Father? Oh.
Father. And,
Wasn't Father
Homunculus.
Nice.
He was the first Homunculus.
You right?
Well, we don't want to go with the little daughter.
Listen, man. There are some things we just don't talk about.
That might be number 5 for me.
Oh, John, no! Dude, any chance we had of ever having viewers is just gone.
And my last pick, I know you guys don't have on your list, but I'm a personal fan, so I'm gonna pick it. From Berserk. Femto.
What was
I
that?
don't remember who Femto is.
That's Griffith's God Hand form.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right.
Yep.
That's it for me.
All right.
Back to me.
Concludes Jake's list. Kirk, yep, up to you.
I wasn't going to pick humanoids, but Jake picked humanoids, so, I mean, I guess he's kind of not really humanoid. He's technically a skeleton. We're going to take Ainz Ul Gown from Overlord.
Okay. All right. All right. Damn, making it hard on me the last ones because I got a few that you guys didn't choose that I kind of wanted to. Where do I want to take this? I mean, I
I'm
can
not
take this.
surprised that our list didn't really overlap a whole lot this week.
Well, sort of, just because Jake had talked about a few earlier that he didn't use that I assumed he was going to use. So
No, I talked about them because I wasn't going to use them.
where do I want to go with this?
I'm not going to
I'll
tell
go
you
with
who I'm going to pick, guy.
I guess I'm going to go with a little bit more known one, and I'll do Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul. So ghouls, or I guess I'll do individual, right? Cause
The One-Eyed King, yeah.
You know, another one that I had that I completely forgot I watched as a show was the Origami from God Eater. I don't know if anybody's watched
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Because those things were nuts, too.
I
They
wish-
killed everybody.
I wish that it continued longer than it did as a show.
The problem is that
Effective.
it was based off of a game.
No, the problem is that they finished the... No, it started as an anime, then they made a game to finish off the story of the anime.
Started as a manga,
God-
did it not?
God Eater was always a game before it was...
Not God Eater.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah,
Is it God Eater?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of...
It started off as an anime, and then it turned in... Then they finished it out with...
No, God Eater was a game.
It was a
Is it
game
not?
before it was an anime, John.
God Eater was a game.
Really?
Yeah.
I know it was a game, but I thought they finished out the...
No, because it's God Eater the animation.
game.
Let's see, Google. Google.
Yeah,
What do
that's
you
where
say
I-
about this?
I remember...
God Eater is an anime adaptation of the God Eater video game. It is animated by UFO Table, whatever the fuck it is, and it began airing
Ufotable.
July 12th, 2015.
Okay. All right.
With
Yeah,
a
stand
I was
corrected.
thinking of... have you seen that one anime that's almost CG where the like monster type are just immortals? The main character doesn't know and they don't know that they are that monster until they get until they die and then come back to life?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
No
No.
idea.
Nope.
No, that's 100% what I thought you were talking about. I didn't even listen.
Dude, God Eater is one of the only shows that I actually somewhat enjoy the CGI, like, as enemies.
Yeah.
It's actually somewhat done right.
I didn't like it in the trailer, so I was going to play the game. That's how I know it's a game first.
The game's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played the first one.
It's an
There's a
MMO,
few.
though. No.
All right. Well, with that, I'm gonna I'll do a quick run through on the list here. Jake had Rimuru from Reincarnated as a Slime, Alucard from Housing Ultimate, Cell from Dragon Ball Z, Father from Full Metal, and Femto from Berserk. I had Kurama from Naruto, the Titans from Attack on Titan, Parasites from Parasite, Vasto Lorne from Bleach, and Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul. And then Kirk had Shenron from Dragon Ball Z, Terraformers from Terraformers, Neighbors from World Trigger, Elias Ainsworth from Ancient Magus Bride, and Ainzel Goon from Overlord. I'll post up that list for Friday morning when we have the new episode posted up, which should also go up Friday morning. I guess with that, we'll dive right into the outro, finish it up. We're going to wrap up episode 8 of the Anime Happy Hour podcast. Like I said in the beginning, feel free to reach out to us with any suggestions, questions, concerns. We are still somewhat new. We are only 8 episodes in, so we're always looking for input. As the episodes go on, we're slowly and surely getting our legs for the podcast world, get a little more comfortable with it. So thanks for everybody for sticking with us, or if you're just joining us, thanks for joining us. Feel free to contact us anytime via Facebook. Just look up the Anime Happy Hour podcast. Make sure to email us at animehappyhour951@gmail.com. We're currently streaming on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, working on Apple Podcast. We're also working on setting up a YouTube channel, maybe a live stream, maybe, post up a live video. It's kind of in the works right now, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. With that, thank you for joining us for episode 8. Until next time, we are signing off. Good night, everybody.
Ciao. Brainwashing successful.